Hello and welcome to Ivory Blush Roses. My name is Lisa and today we're back working on the wool Christmas tree. There are 3 seams left and my goal is to stitch one of those seams today. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get stitching. So here we go. On this one we have this seam, this one, and then this vertical one. And I'm looking for starry kind of sparkly seams, and I've had a look through my stitch book. And let me show you the one I'm thinking. So we're looking at this upside down because I think on this one, we're going to stitch it going up this way here. I like this one. It's got these little stars right along the seam. Then it's got some straight stitch triads, and every other one has these little stars, a second set, but smaller. So I think that's what I want to do. I'm thinking with this one, I'm going to start here. I'm not going to do anything down here because there's too much going on there. So we're going to just work here. I sort of would like a slightly sparkly thread. Now I've had this one in my stash and I think we've used it a couple of times in here. But it's a little bit off-white, and I'm wondering if maybe we should go with a whiter one, and I came up with this one. So I think this was in a batch of stuff that someone had given me, and it's a different brand. Let's see what it is. Marlet. So that's from Germany. We're just going to go with this. Now I'm not going to use all those strands, but I need to decide. I think, do I want to do 1 strand? I think that's too light. I think we're going to need 2 strands to make it show up against everything else. Let's look at that. I'm still not positive. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it worked fine over here because it's an accent over here, but as the primary stitch, I don't think it has quite enough weight. So let's take a look at our white pearl cotton that we've been using. We have 2 different ones, and I think I like this one better. So let's do that one. And I need to find a needle. That should do. Since I know I want to do 5 of them, I want to mark those 5 segments. I've got my little ruler. Let's just see here. Of course it's backwards. Okay, so that's not going to work. So let me show you a trick. And I just need a scrap of paper. To do this, I just need a little thin strip. It doesn't need to be very big. And I actually want it the size of my seam. Now, the other thing with this is I really don't want one right here on each end. So they have to come in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roughly. That's actually 7. So let me see if I can find a regular pen or pencil where I can draw this out here. So we're going to do it in half. And so that would be our center line. And then we would count this as 1 and that as 1. But we want 2 marks inside of here, so we're looking for roughly a third. I'm going to just play with this without folding it tight until it looks like it's going to end up about even. And that gives me 3. And then I just need to do the same thing on the other side, but it's easier now because I have the other one to go off of. And what I have found is that if it's not absolutely exact, it doesn't matter because your eye is still going to see it as evenly divided. So now we have our marks, and I'm just going to use my pencil if we can get it to mark. I know this is a challenge on the wool. So there is that. I could always use pins to mark that, and my little applique pins, which I would use normally, are off in another room. So I'm not going to do that. I can see those marks well enough, and so I'm just going to stitch. Let's look at this again. You have a horizontal, a vertical, and then one going each direction. So there's 8 rays on these. If I stitch the horizontal one first, it's going to sink way down into that seam. So I'm going to make the vertical one first, and everything else will sit on top of that, and it will also mark my spot. So we're going to go side to side. When you're doing 8, it's just super simple to do this, because now all we have to do is come up roughly in the center there between the 2 spokes, and we're going to stitch across to the center opposite. And then we're going to do the same here. I'm going to pick our center and the center. And that one is done. Now I'm going to stitch the little stars first because they're the same all the way across, and I want to get them as even as I can. But just by virtue of having this thread that goes right along the seam sitting on top of that other thread keeps it lifted out of that gap. That one may not be quite long enough. That's okay. We'll make it work. I'm going to just scoop that one right over and go down. And I'm just going to keep doing that same thing all the way across. I do need to make that center one going this way just a touch wider than that last one. And so just to help it be a little more symmetrical, make this one just ever so slightly narrower to mimic that one. We'll see if it actually comes out that way. In fact, that one's not quite long enough. I'm just going to come up, and I don't know if you can see, I'm just splitting my stitch and taking it out just a little bit further because that wasn't quite far enough. And that just lengthens it without having to take out the whole stitch. I don't think this one's any narrower, so it is what it is. That's going to be fine. When we get this all done, I think you won't really notice anything. On nearly every other seam, there is some green. I'm trying to think if there are any that don't have some kind of green. I think they all do. I'm thinking that we do those little straight stitch triads in a green. But let me go ahead and put the stars on top of this one, the smaller ones here. So let's come back to here, and I'm just going to go right from the base or the end of that if I can find the spot. Again, I'm working on that dark fabric and it's hard to see, and we're already lined up, so I just want to make sure I'm continuing in a straight line. I do not want this one as big. So we'll see if I can accomplish that. Yeah, there we go. And then one more over here. Now, I suppose I probably could have just stitched one really long stitch, but I kind of like the effect of having the 2 separate little stars. I didn't stab stitch these, and so they're not quite as symmetrical, I can tell. So this is going to be a pretty quick seam. Tie that off. Let's decide on a green. Now we've been using this sage green. That might actually be nice because it's not too dark. So that's what we have here. That's what we tried to use in the back here, and it just disappeared. So I think we could do that, and I think that would be nice and it wouldn't detract from the little stars. And now we're just doing those triad stitches off of the tip of each one of these. Center first. Get my line established. We're going to make these pretty tall. I'm going to come down almost halfway. We go from out, that's going to be, no, I think that's okay. I think I might like it ever so slightly higher. I have to remember it's just not quite as easy to stitch on this wool because the way it eats it up, so we'll just do that. And I hope this is all in focus. We're not going to come back quite half. And then we need to decide, do we want to add a bead to it? I think actually one little sparkly bead might be just what it needs. So I want to line up with that one. Yeah, I'm pleased with how that's looking. And I'm going to watch that. I'm going to come out straight, but we're sort of curving a little bit on a seam here, and that's what I'm trying to sort of mimic, that curve, just ever so slightly. And one last one. And that guy turned quite a bit with the curve of the fabric. Yeah. I wasn't sure I was going to like this really pale green on here, but it's just frosty enough that it works really well. I think it needs some beads, so let's take a look. Now we use these little iridescent ones here, so I don't necessarily want to use the same one there. Let's take a look at what else we have. I want to stick with the same kinds of beads I've already been using. At this point, with all these other things, I have just the opaque white and those little iridescent ones. So I think we're looking at the opaque white beads. So there's a few of those. I think I have a needle already threaded with beading thread that's white. If you go back to one of the previous videos, we talk about how to match the thread. Let's decide where we want these first. I'm actually thinking right in the center of those, but we could also, let's just play with adding them to the end of those little bits. Somehow I don't think I'm going to like that as well. So do we like that better or that better? So triads or the centers, and I think I like it at the centers and leaving the ends of that undone. Now the other thing this is going to do is it's going to help pull our little stars together. So I'm using a doubled length of nylon beading thread. This is a single ply, not a twisted. And I'm going to pull that over as close as I can and pull the center of that star together. And so hopefully doing it this direction will help it align vertically on there. I'm happy with that. Now because this is a lone bead right at the beginning, I'm going to take a second stitch through it. I'm not sure if I will do that on all of them, but it's also sitting on that hump of embroidery thread, so I just want to make sure it holds its place well. Yeah, that worked. I think it gives it just that tiny bit of extra that it needed. So again, I'm pulling it together. And see, it's just, when that happens, that's just all gotten twisted in there. My gosh, come on. Just part of the thread pulled through a little too quick and it got wrapped around itself. So trying to figure out how to unwrap. There we go. That's one of the hazards of a doubled thread, but it does keep your beads so much more secure. I am going to come up twice through these because I think it does a better job of holding it in place. And so this one we're going to go through twice. Doesn't want to go through that other way, so I'll pull it up this way. The other thing I realize I'm doing that I haven't really talked about is by going through twice, I'm also sort of making a little X with my beading thread. I'm coming up, I'll show you more clearly here in just a moment, but that's part of what helps hold the bead in its orientation, and I'm using that to help spread the rays of those little stars. So let's go down here on this one because I want my bead to go on vertically so the hole is on either side. I'm coming up here, and when I go down, let me show you. Let me see if this is easier to see. So I came up here and I'm going to go down here. So I'm going to cross over, and when I do the next one, I'm going to come up here or here, and I'm going to do that pair of things, and that will all help hold it. So we're going to go crosswise, and these I do stab stitch. I want to go down straight, and you see the bead sits a little cattywampus there, so now I'm going to pull it to the side and I'm going to come up in that X below it. Even that motion pulled it straight, and now I'm going to go in on the one catty corner opposite. So a nice little X, and it helps hold it. It's just a simple little thing, but it does make a difference in how your bead holds. And so each of these beads now has 4 strands of beading thread holding it in place. So it's unlikely that even if a little bit of the thread stretches, it still should maintain its shape and keep it tight to the project. I didn't used to think that was an issue, but I did find that some projects, over time, it just seems like the thread relaxes. And so it helps to counteract that just a little bit. And you would think on this project that you wouldn't really see that little white bead. But it adds a surprising amount of depth to the stitch. So again, I'm going catty corner across. Now I'm going to come catty corner across the other way. And it pulled it straight. So let me tie this off and then we'll take a look at it. And because it's beading thread and it tends to be kind of slippery, I tie 2 knots. And I always leave a little tail with that. And knot that beading thread so it's ready to go for the next one. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then, we'll probably be adding something like that to it. Maybe we'll add another one there. We'll see. I'm waiting till the end to put all those on, till I get that whole area done, because it's a lot easier to tell what it needs to help balance it. I wish I had waited on these, and I may end up moving a couple of these because I think we need a couple of extra beads in there, and I just plunked them right in the center. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, happy stitching, and I'll see you in the next video.